when we talk about communication, we actually deal with something very important, something that has got an immensely important role in our life, right? We deal with something that is very important in our lives, and it plays an immensely important role in our life, right? Most of the time, when you ask someone about good communication, the first response that you come across is that by good communication we mean good English, which is a very wrong concept, right? It is not that good English guarantees good communication. Communication can be in any language. Good communication can be in any language. It is not only English that enables you to communicate well, right? You can communicate in your mother tongue or in any language that you want, right? So it's not necessarily English, right? Give me anything. Aji? Okay. Then if we communicate, we actually exchange our ideas, we share our ideas, right? हम अपनी ideas को share करते हैं. Now, it is not at all necessary that whatever we share, people will accept it. Whatever we say, people will accept it. People will be convinced, right? It is not necessary, and it never even happens, right? So, what to do to convince people? Hmm? What can we do to convince people by whatever we communicate, right? Anyone who would like to answer me? How can we actually convince people when we communicate? Because it is never the case that whatever you say, people accept it, people obey you, people follow you. Okay. I'm not providing facts, but still people never follow you, right? Strong arguments. Ijaz, strong arguments is also okay if you communicate with people and you come up with strong arguments, right? But the thing is that um, good communication is not um, what you say. Good communication is how you say, right? When we talk about good communication, so it is not always about the content that you are sharing. It's about the manner, the manner in which you are processing whatever you want, right? So it is never only the content, right? It can be the style, the manner in which you are speaking, right? Yes. To tell them what they want to hear. Yes, good. To tell them what they want to hear. Yes. Okay. हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है, हमारे यहाँ अगर हम कोई बात किसी से करते हैं, if we talk to someone, हमारा अक्सर औकात हमारी बात एक्सेप्ट नहीं होती है, और उसकी सबसे बड़ी वजह ये है कि we don't have good communication skill, right? Our communication is not effective. So if you want to have an effective communication, you need to follow certain things, right? I have a question. Suppose एक student है और वो एक किसी भी एग्जाम में वो फेल हो जाता है, ठीक है? अब एक टीचर उससे किस तरह ये कहेगा कि आप फेल हो चुके हैं, कि उसको फेल होने में भी कोई मोटिवेशन मिले? किस तरह? Can you please give me some example? How can a teacher communicate his failure to him without causing him any inferiority complex or any other complex? Satish, you're right. You have the capacity to perform well, but for any reason you couldn't get up to this time, get up to it this time. I hope you attain your capacity next time. Good, yeah, great. So this is what euphemism is, right? When you say something bad in a good manner, when you say something negative in a good manner, it's what you call euphemism, right? For example, आप किसी के साथ disagree होते हैं, you disagree with someone, and you tell him on his or her face that I disagree with you. This um, this sort of blunt statement, this sort of blunt statement will really hurt that person that you're communicating, right? So in order to convince him, or in order to have a very good sort of communication, you can say that instead of saying I disagree with you, you can say that I respect your opinion, but my thoughts are completely different on this matter. Okay, so this is what euphemism is, right? To say something bad in a good manner. ممكن وصيو student يلا فين شلو no أول قوة ممكن قولنا ولا جو na we criticize the student, we use harsh words for him, we discourage him as much as possible by like by many ways we discourage him that you are not capable of doing something, you do not deserve this department, you have always been a failure, and so these kind of statements are mostly coming from many teachers who claim to be professors, right? That they come up with such statements, right? That is something that really um, discourages uh, the students, right? So you need to come up with something very positive, um, which can really encourage a student, even if you are telling something bad to him, right? So when we communicate. The communication that we make is of two types: oral communication and written communication. Right? Oral communication is the one that you speak. Right? You speak. You use language. You speak. You are making oral communication, right? And written communication is when you use different symbols, different words, you write them, right? So you go for written communication. In oral communication, you have verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is when you use language, and non-verbal is when you use gesture. ज़्यादा जब चिंतन होती है और हमारा focus भी ज़्यादा verbal पे ही होता है. We most of the time focus the verbal communication and we ignore the non-verbal communication, but that is also wrong, right? Both verbal and non-verbal should go parallel, right? Without verbal, non-verbal is impossible, and without non-verbal, verbal is not sometimes possible, right? So you need to have both in parallel, right? So communication or effective communication. ये बात याद रखिएगा कि अक्सर लोग ये सोचते हैं कि अगर किसी की शक्ल अच्छी है या उसकी आवाज अच्छी है या उसका स्टेटस अच्छा है तो वही लोग जो है वो दूसरों को पसंद आते हैं. But that is For me, that is wrong, right? I believe that good communication is the only thing that can enable you to be liked by someone or to be disliked by someone if the communication is not good, right? So, apart from all the other physical qualities, communication is one of the most important things that can enable you to be liked by people, and people be attracted towards you if you have good communication, if you have effective communication, right? Okay, so when we deal with communication, as I already discussed, we have oral communication and we have written communication, right? In communication, we have encoder, the one who sends, and in there is another decoder, the one who receives. Oral and written, right? We can have an encoder as well as a decoder, right? Encoder is the one who sends a message, and decoder is the one who receives it, right? Decoder receives it, encoder sends it, right? In order to convince your decoder, you need to come up with effective communication. Now, what is that effective communication? Effective communication is based on certain principles, right? There are certain principles that you need to follow if you want to develop an effective communication. So, these principles are generally known as seven C's of communication. Completeness, conciseness, clarity, concreteness, courtesy, consideration, correctness, or coherence. These are the seven C's of effective communication. Remember, if you if you imply these seven C's into your communication, you are going to be the most effective communicator ever, and people will be convinced. People will love to listen to you. People will accept what you say, right? But if you lack these, you are communicating, but you are not communicating well, right? No, pakarda da chistasu communication ki there were seven C's today no da hamesha mawjood bhi, right? So we will be gradually talking about each C, right? Okay, so first of all we'll talk about completeness, right? What do you mean by completeness, right? By completeness you mean that you inform your your audience completely. You inform your audience completely, right? Like they are informed. They are informed about everything they need. They are informed about everything that they need, right? That's what completeness is, right? That there is nothing that is missing, right? Nothing is missing. No information is skipped. No information is missing, right? And your message is complete, right? Uh, the best way to have complete message is to have answer of these 5 W's in your communication, right? Like if your message answers these 5 questions, your message is complete, right? It is who, where, where, when, what, and why. Right? If your message answers these 5 questions, you are having a complete message. Right? Your message is complete, and it is according to the effective communication skills, right? That's how you deliver a complete message. And if your message is not complete, things are going to be disturbed, right? I'll give you an example and then you'll understand it, right? Suppose if you are holding a meeting and you send message to your staff like this: hello, we are having a meeting tomorrow. I want you all to be present. I want you all to be present. Now, this message gives us meaning. We understand what the person wants to say, that this message is not complete. This is not a complete message. ये complete message नहीं है. क्यों नहीं है? ये message complete क्यों नहीं है? अब देखें. We are having a meeting. What meeting? I don't know. Where is the meeting? I don't know. Who is chairing the meeting? I don't know. Why are we having this meeting? I don't know. What I only know is when is the meeting, right? So I don't have complete information. So in order to complete this message, I'd say, hello, we are having a meeting and the agenda of what difficulties we may encounter if we were unable to control this this virus COVID-19 right? The meeting will take place tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the staff meeting room under the supervision, or you can write staff meeting room. It will be chaired by Mr. ABC. You all are requested to make your presence sure. Now, if you look at this message and you compare it with the previous message, you'll find a lot of difference, right? What's that difference? The difference is that it now answers every question. It is complete and no information is missing. Clear? That is what we call a complete message, right? Okay. Then we have conciseness. Less, but that should be of quality. right? And in English it is said that the less is more. The less is the more. It is also said by Shakespeare that brevity is the soul of wit. Brevity is the soul of wit, right? So, keeping all these statements in mind, what we actually get out of these statements, we get that anything that is short is better, right? Anything that is short is better. अब आप लोग पेपर में क्या करते हैं? आप लोग पेपर में इतना ज्यादा लिख लेते हैं और ये सोचते हैं कि टीचर बहुत ज्यादा इम्प्रेस हो जाएगा कि मैंने तो एक्स्ट्रा शीट्स भी ले लिए और एक्स्ट्रा शीट्स के बाद भी एक्स्ट्रा शीट्स ले लिए. So this mentality is of many people and this is what is wrong. ठीक है? तो हमारी गुड कम्युनिकेशन सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि आपने किसी से बात कर ली. आपका जो पेपर होता है वो भी एक सोर्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन है. आपका जो एग्जाम होता है दैट इज ऑल्सो सोर्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. Everything through which you share your ideas is communication. So it is not only speaking to people and communicating. No, there are lots of other platforms, there are lots of other sources through which you communicate, and exam is also one of those sources, right? तो हमारा मसला ये है कि बस हम इन चीजों को फिर लाते ही नहीं है, मतलब इनको हम कंसिडर ही नहीं करते. ठीक है, सो ये गलत है. ठीक है, सो शॉर्ट इज बेटर, right? Now, what do we mean by conciseness, right? Conciseness is actually to deliver a message, to deliver a complete message without repetition, without using long sentences and without repeating words or phrases. ठीक है, इस रिपीटिशन को जो कि अननेसेसरी होती है इसको हम redundancy भी कहते हैं. ठीक है, so redundancy is the unnecessary repetition, repetition that is not at all needed, right? तो हमारे पास एक फॉर्मूला है, इसको हम कहते हैं KISS, right? And it is keep it short and simple. Keep it short and simple. आपने जो भी लिखना है, जो भी आपने कहना है उसको शॉर्ट और सिंपल लिखें. एक और चीज मैं आपको थोड़ा बता दूं, बहुत सारे लोग जो कि कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जामिनेशन के लिए खुद को प्रिपेयर करते हैं और स्पेशली जब बात आती है इंग्लिश की और ऐसे राइटिंग की या प्रेसे राइटिंग की, तो वो लोग क्या करते हैं, वो बहुत ही ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट किस्म के, बम्बास्टिक किस्म के वर्ड्स यूज करते हैं ताकि वो एग्जामिनर को इम्प्रेस कर सके कि मुझे तो ऐसी वोकैबुलरी आती है कि जैसी अगर मैं यूज करूं तो आपको डिक्शनरी उठाने की जरूरत पड़ जाएगी. ये चीज बहुत ही गलत है. CSS, PMS, बाकी जितने भी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जामिनेशंस हैं उसमें अगर आप लैंग्वेज यूज कर रहे हैं तो जितनी लैंग्वेज आपकी सिंपल होगी उतनी ही आपकी सक्सेस के चांसेस ज्यादा होंगे. as compared to using difficult vocabulary, difficult structure, you cannot score well on CSS, right? तो अगर आप चाहते हैं कि आप CSS, PMS या और जितने भी competitive examinations हैं, उसमें if you want to score well, the only thing that you need is to apply this KISS formula. Keep it short and simple, right? And you are done, right? What should you avoid? Uh, you should avoid firstly redundancy. Redundancy नहीं होनी चाहिए, ठीक है? And you should use one word substitution. One word substitution, right? One word substitution का मतलब होता है कि आप 5-6 वर्ड्स के लिए एक ही वर्ड ऐसा यूज करें जो कि उनका मीनिंग दे सके, ठीक है? For example, Pakistan is a country where people elect their leaders, right? Pakistan is a country where people elect their leaders can be written as Pakistan is a democratic country. Pakistan is a democratic country. This is just an example, okay? It is not a reality. Don't be swept away with my words. It's just an example. Pakistan is a democratic country, right? So you see, Pakistan is a country where people elect their leaders. Is a long sentence, right? So I have shortened it to Pakistan is a democratic country, right? He is waiting for you on the back side of the wall can be written as he is waiting for you behind the wall. आपको मैं पेपर में इस तरह के कुछ जुमले लिख के दूंगा जो कि बहुत ज्यादा लेंथी होंगे, तो आपने क्या करना होगा, आपने उनको शॉर्ट लिखना होगा, लेकिन इंफॉर्मेशन मिस नहीं करनी है, शॉर्ट लिखना है बट कंप्लीट लिखना है. Clear? He is waiting for you on the back side of the wall can be written as he is waiting for you behind the wall, right? So you need to shorten your message, right? And that's how you do, right? Clear? And in the near future, in the month of April or even May, if you cannot manage it in April, 40 volumes of introduction to political science by Mazharul Haq, by parcel, or since the parcel may be heavy, by carrier. ये एक मैसेज लिखा, इसमें मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन भी दी, बहुत सारी चीज़ों का जिक्र किया। अब मैं इसको कंसाइज करता हूँ. आई वॉन्ट टू कंसाइज इट. सो आई राइट इट लाइक दिस. प्लीज send by carrier van 40 volumes of Intro to Political Science by Mazharul Haq. By Mazharul Haq. Before May 30th. Now you see, both of the messages are same, but the above message that I type is so long, right? And the message below is short, concise and clear. That's what we call conciseness, right? अब ये जो है ये conciseness है. इस तरह आपका जो मैसेज है वो कंप्लीट हो जाता है. ठीक है? So that's how you deliver a concise message, a message that is not so lengthy and that is complete. ठीक है? तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए? हमें बैलेंस में रखना चाहिए. Conciseness and completeness should be in balance, right? Okay, so you've got another class. So I'll see you next time.